How are we all doing tonight?
Yeah.
We're doing good? I'm a little nervous myself, and they tell me that if you're nervous, you should try to picture everybody in the audience naked. Well, my imagination kind of sucks, but I do see a couple of pretty girls in the audience, so I'm going to need you and you to take on your tops. It's going to really make me feel more at ease, and I think everybody else is going to enjoy the show a little more. Recently, I've discovered that I am the best-looking fat man in the world. So I've decided to go onto the Fat Person website for a date. So I joined BBW, which is Big Beautiful Women. And I go online and I chat with a couple girls. And I see this one girl and it lists that she's a model. And I'm like, hey, if you're going to go out with a big girl, she might as well be a model, right? So we hook up and I meet her. She's pretty. So naturally I come around to, what kind of modeling do you do? And she tells me she's a fetish model. So I'm like, score! This is great. I got a couple of fetishes, I think we all do. So I asked her, I said, you know, one of my fetishes is titties. And I'm like, you know, I like to lick them. And sometimes I like to suckle on them. And if they're big titties, and I'm sure every guy's wanted to do this at least once, but if they're big titties, you get to do the motorboat. And that doesn't work with little titties, though. So I asked her, I said, you know, can we play with my titty fetish? And she goes, well, I don't do that. I said, oh, so no titty fetishes. I said, you know, I have a fetish for BJs. You know, BJs are pretty good. I think everybody likes them. If there's anybody out here that doesn't like them, you probably haven't had one yet. And I recommend you run out tonight right after the show, try to get one. They're pretty good. And again, she turns to me and she says, well, I don't do any BJ fetishes. And I'm like, well, what do you do? And she goes, well, my most popular fetish is smothering. And for those of you that don't know what smothering is a big girl, heavy-set girl in a bikini. And she comes up and she gets down on your face and she dances. Now, the only problem with this, being a big guy, is with these big asses and big thighs, I'm wondering where my next breath is going to come from while she's dancing away. Yeah. I guess I should talk a little bit more about myself. I work for the devil, Lucifer. The devil owns the cell phone business. And all of you bastards are in a 2-year contract, and you're going to voluntarily sign up for another one. There's only 2 things that the devil really likes in this world. And that's all you guys give him your money every month. And he loves to watch on the cameras of the store when all you customers come in to whine and complain and bitch about your phone's not working. I had this guy come in the store the other day, and he's got his BlackBerry, regular-sized guy, think he can handle himself. And he comes in and he tells me, you know, my phone's not working, I got it wet. What am I going to do? And I said, well, you have insurance, call the company, and they're going to send you your phone in 24 hours. Everything's going to be good. And this guy looks at me, and he goes, what do you mean I'm not going to get my phone today? What if I go into a dark alley and get mugged? And I looked at him with a little bit of a peculiar face, and I said, well, if somebody's mugging you, what are you going to do with your phone? I mean, you're already getting beat up. You're already taking your money. You're going to call a cop now? Or are you going to ask them, hold on a minute, can I call somebody? It's not going to happen. I want to talk a little bit about text messaging. And since I've been doing really good at work, I mean, my numbers are higher. Lucifer has assigned me an assistant. It's actually 2. I have 2 gens. One's filming this on my phone, and the other one's going to come up and join me on stage because I'm going to do a text messaging joke, and unfortunately, I can't walk, chew gum, and do anything at the same time. So she's going to hold up some flashcards for all you guys to read. This is Jen. These are good finest. We're going to start off with some simple stuff. Is she in?
She's in.
All right, we're going to start off with some simple stuff. Most of you guys are going to know these text messages. The first one is LOL. Everybody knows laugh out loud, right? All right, what's the next one? We got rolling on the floor, laughing my ass off. A couple simple ones for you guys. The next two are a little bit different. You may not have seen them before. This is one commonly found in guys' cell phones. My word. The fuck is my word? My word is my wife in room. I thought you guys would get that. A couple of guys are probably pooping a brick right now. But you women aren't all alone, because in women's phones we see my husband in room. Pretty good. Husbands were better. The next one is a little bit more personal. This happened between me and an ex-girlfriend. And sometimes texting gets a little bit serious. And if you don't know who you're texting, they don't always know what you're saying. So you got to text a lot with somebody before they can see everything. So I texted this to my girlfriend, and it says, INABJ2N, please. And that stands for, I need a BJ tonight, please. And I figured if I said please, you know, I'd be a little more receptive, I think I was being respectful. Well, my answer back was, you wait for next week. So naturally I had to respond, and my response was, next week never comes. So she comes back with a wink, which I come back with, I love you, PETA. For those of you who don't know what PETA is a little personal pet name that I have for my ex. And that's pain in the ass. And then she comes back with, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never get it. You guys like that? Give me a big round of applause. Thank you. I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and the fact that I'm a fat guy. This is like my finishing up of all my acts. The first way I can tell that I've become a bona fide fat guy is I now have more X's on my shirt than I do in my little black book. Kind of let me know I was a fat guy. Another thing we let you know when you're becoming a fat guy like me is you can't go shopping at the regular store. You got to go to the big boy store. And in the big boy store, every pants has the stretchy sides. Because, you know, when you're a fat guy, you never know where you're going to come to a buffet on lunch. You grow a little. It happens. Two other ways I can tell I've been getting a little fatter. Oddly enough, when I moved to Florida, my feet were 12 and a half. I put on about 60, 70 pounds, and now I wear a size 14 extra wide. I don't really know how that works, but I guess my body can compensate for anything. I think that stops me from toppling over to bigger feet. But most people find, and I find, that the best way to tell that I've been getting a little fatter is this fat ring right back here on the back of my head. You guys are laughing. I'm thinking about getting it tattooed. I'm thinking about getting a hot dog bun, a little bit of relish and mustard. I think it's going to go over great. Although normally Jews don't get tattoos, but who can pass up a hot dog? It's America's favorite treat. All right, thank you guys. That's my guy. Thank you. You gotta get bigger feet. Here we go on.